to the house. Don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a good. I put that on God when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that jump on jealousy. My bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Better way. Oh, hey. Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics, do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a good, put that on good when it gets hard. Stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that jump on my back. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, nigga, catch a break. Better way. Oh, hey.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Okay, back for more. Welcome back. And good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, listen, before we put the cam on and get things started, please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. Well, frankly speaking, when you share the show, more people see it. Let's get into it. Now, I wasn't with you yesterday. I had some things going on I had to attend, and it led to me preemptively not doing the show yesterday, but I'm back with you and plan to be with you every day at 8 a.m. That's today, which of course is Wednesday, and that's tomorrow, which will be Thursday, and Friday. All right. And I will be with you on Monday, which I believe is Valentine's Day. And I know CPS has a day off. That's the day after the Super Bowl. Let's get into it. There is a black billionaire that is putting in a bid for an NFL team. And I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see this because there's some people out there, or you could put a group of black people together that could put the money up. I think they're going to need like north of $4 billion, but there's a handful of people out there that can make that happen. And I'm going to tell you who that black billionaire is in just a second. 513-873-7134. Black mothers are rallying for justice for Amir Locke, and they're calling for the firing of city officials. Amir Locke was asleep in his house when Minneapolis police, along with Minneapolis SWAT team serving a no-knock warrant, burst into his home. He wakes up, cover on top of him. He doesn't know what's going on. He's got a weapon in his hand. They gun him down. 2 shots to the chest, 1 to the wrist. He is now dead. So it opens up yet another conversation about no-knock warrants. What I would say is, what the F is up with the Minneapolis Police Department? Their names just keep coming up in these incidences over and over again. At this point in 2022, every police department in the country should have had a conversation about no-knock warrants. And quite honestly, I think that their effectiveness is way past due, way past its effective shelf life. I've even talked to at least one police officer. Matter of fact, I talked to 2 police officers, black police officers, who said that no-knock warrants puts police officers in danger. Why do we continue this practice? And innocent people keep getting killed, or circumstances keep happening that are unintended. I don't know. Maybe you do. But I'll give you the latest on the Amir Locke situation. 513-873-7134. Also, we got to talk about grown woman mentality when it comes to sex. AJ Johnson, you may not remember that name. You may not know who she is. The story's a little bit old. I think it broke on Thursday of last week. This is my first chance to get a stab at it. But she was doing what's it called? Angela Yee with the Breakfast Club has a podcast. I forget what it's called. I think it's called, I don't know, Lip Service, something like that. And she had AJ Johnson on. AJ Johnson, if you don't know, she played the mother on Baby Boy. Remember Ving Rhames walking around naked, making eggs? Like, what the hell? She was the mother. My mama. Remember that? It's classic. She definitely turned some heads in what she said she received for her 50th birthday party. But I want to give you some grown black man thoughts on what this grown black woman had to say about sexuality. It was, well, I'll save it. 513-873-7134. And it's official. People are going way too far to celebrate the Bengals. Way too far. Way too far. I'll say it again. If CPS wants to take a day off for staff because the day is usually off, but the timing is off because you got one more scheduled game in the NFL, so now the timing is off, that's one thing. But to put out a statement saying that Cincinnati Public Schools, a failing school district, is closing because of a damn Super Bowl is a betrayal of values. It's a straight up betrayal of values. Messaging. Why does CPS continue to have a messaging problem? Don't they have qualified people, media specialists that work in their media department? What in the hell? I've never seen a school district with the worst messaging ever. It's simple. This is simple. But anyway, but just when I thought we went too far, I read a story that goes way like, why are we doing this? This ain't fun. I don't want to see this. This is macabre. Like, listen, just buy a t-shirt. Get a sweatshirt. Going way too far with this, man. Way too far. I'm learning way too much about Joe Burrow. Like, I know that he likes his food spicy. There's a big old article in the Inquirer about from his chef. Joe Burrow likes his food spicy. I'm like, what? Why do I know? I don't need to know all of this. Damn. Act like you've been here before. Act like I've been here before. Roy writes, I must agree with you on that schools are not closed because of the football game. Stupid. Yes, I said stupid. It's a betrayal of values. You know what I'm saying? It's a betrayal of values. I was just talking with somebody yesterday associated with CPS, and the messaging, man. Messaging is everything. Everything. But it is what it is. It's done. I know a lot of Cincinnatians disagree with me. They didn't like that take. Like, Nate, you're wrong. Sit your ass down. We're going to enjoy this to the fullest. People always got something to say. And you know, people always got something to say. That's what people say when they ain't got nothing to say. They say, people always got something to say, right? Tiff writes, right, they are obsessed with Burrow. The Burrow obsession is driving me nuts. I'm like, I get it. Y'all not used to a white dude having any swag. He's got a little swag. A little. They acting like it's like Supreme Apex swag. It's a little swag. Let's wait and see. But I get it. We're not used to winning, and so we're going to go all out. I get it. How many people went to the pep rally in the audience? How many people went to the Bengals pep rally? I did not. But hopefully you had a lot of fun. Again, I'm here to enjoy life. So we should enjoy these moments, enjoy this time. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So today, let's enjoy it. I'm with you on that. But some of this stuff, I don't even know where to start. So let's start here since we're talking about it. I read that Sam White was the coach. Did he take the Bengals to the Super Bowl? I can't remember. But Sam White was a former coach of the Bengals. I don't remember his resume, so excuse me on that. But there we go. But Sam White was the coach of the Bengals for many years. I think he took them to an AFC Championship game. I'm not sure if they went to a Super Bowl or not. I just can't remember. Some people got that all that kind of shit memorized. I do not. And I read that his daughter is going to bring his ashes to Cincinnati for the Super Bowl. And I'm like, that don't sound like fun to me. Like, yo, check it. I don't want to see all that. What difference is that going to make? Yeah, Sam White is, and again, I ain't criticizing her because she lost her father and that's what she wants to do. I'm just saying, let's take a step back. Who cares? What difference does that make? Ashes? We're talking about ashes. Oh my God. This world's coming to an end. No spirit. Spirit's already gone, but we're going to take his ashes and he's going to bring it to Cincinnati. Okay. Who ordered that up? Which one of y'all ordered that one? Some of y'all been talking to Jesus. Y'all ordered that up? Come on, man. Too much. Cass is irking me to no end, but I love my sister. She is irking me to no end. Look at this repugnant statement she just made here. This is repugnant. Don't you know we are basking in the Super Bowl glow? Damn haters. She writes, I agree folks are doing too much and I hope they lose. And she got these laughing emojis. There ain't nothing funny about that. I want the Bengals to win just so Cass won't have nothing to say. Because you know if the Bengals lose, she's going to be all up in here like, with laugh emojis. The hell? Good morning to you. Somebody writes, good morning, Mr. Wet Blanket. Is that me? I'll be that. I'll be that. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. But Sam Weich's daughter is going to bring his ashes to Cincinnati. Huh? I don't want to see that. I don't want to be around that. That's creepy. That's macabre. I mean, what's next? So Sam can see the... wait a minute. Leave those ashes in the urn on your table or wherever you got them, Sam Weich's daughter. And then you just come to the game. But people going too far with it, man. But we're not used to this. We don't know what to do. We're not used to winning with the Bengals. We're not used to this kind of shine, all this kind of love and attention. We ain't used to none of this. So people are going to overreact and do some things they really shouldn't be doing and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to go too far with it. I guess it's all part of it. Look who's in the house. Eloise is in the house. She writes, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you, Elo. Elo. Hey, Crystal writes, speaking of which, man, that Negro came up. That Negro came up. I'm talking about ASAP Rocky. Whoo, that Negro came up. Got Rihanna pregnant. Shh. I'm just waiting to hear about the nuptials next, right? We shall see. Damn, that Negro came up. He lucky. Wish I was him. Yeah, I said it. Rihanna? Damn. Those kind of things don't happen to me. Pat writes, good morning. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Kelly writes, good morning. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Carmelita Jones is in the house. She writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy hump day. It is a happy hump day, right? Is this week going slow or fast? I didn't do a show yesterday, so Wednesday's here a little bit early to me. It seems like it's going fast. Darlene K writes, Grand Risings all. Good morning to you, Darlene K. Roy's in the house. Roy Bohannon writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Is there a difference between joining the show through Digital Media Facebook page and Nathan Ivey Show page? Inquiring minds would like to know. Not really, no. Your chat will still be in here. I don't think so. I don't believe so. Chris writes, good morning. Good to see you, Chris Thomas. Good to see you. Anthony Prosser's in the house. You writes, morning, Chop Shops. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Jerome's having some issues with the sound. Hopefully it's just, Roy is having Jerome is having issues with the sound. Hopefully that's just Jerome. Dale writes, one difference, I cannot see everyone's cognate comments for discussion. Some of my favorite choppers when you're on the Nathan Ivey Show. Okay. David writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Akeem writes, morning, everybody. I love that woman, Carmelita C. Jones. You already know. 100. Houday, I love you too. Okay. People are saying some issues with the sound. Hopefully that's taken care of. Good morning to you. I was just silent for a minute. That's all that was. Lannis writes, good morning. Good to see you. Gladys is in the house. She writes, beautiful Wednesday. Regina writes, good morning. Blessings to all. Tiff writes, good morning. Cass writes, hey, Choppers, good morning. Got to check out Melanin Insights. Oh, we got to talk about Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, we haven't talked about that because the Super Bowl's coming up. I think the kickoff is at 6. But I'll reach out to you, Cass. We can talk about that. Maybe we push it up a little bit. I think we kind of did talk about that a little bit. Diane Angel writes, good morning, Choppers, on YouTube. Brenda writes, good morning, Nana Choppers. Good morning to you. Sister Iris is in the house. Good morning. Carmelita writes, right. I won't travel to Minneapolis at this point. What is up with the Minneapolis police? Their names just keep coming up in these tragic situations with citizens. And a smart police department learns from the mistakes of other police departments. So why would you wait until you got some big old public incidents involving your police officers for you to take a look at your policies and ask yourself if you need to make some reforms? You should be learning from what happened with Breonna Taylor. You should be learning from what happened with Derek Chauvin and learning what happened with all of these big public incidences. That's what smart people do. Dumb people sit back and they wait too late. I don't get it. Glenn writes, good morning. Good to see you. Chase rates him a 7. Is that right? I did. It was nice to celebrate. Oh, you went to the pep rally, but it was cold as AF. I was still defrosting yesterday. It was a cold day. Irish writes, the judge in the Derek Chauvin trial was the judge that signed the no-knock warrant in the Amir Locke case. And I read that the officers involved would not go out to serve the warrant unless they had a no-knock warrant. So I guess they're like, we need that element of surprise. Damn shame. Glenn writes, morning in the choppers. I just looked at my wrist. I got time today. I'm crossing the line today. Okay. Dale writes, Super Bowl in 1989, Coach Sam White. Okay. Okay, did take him to a Super Bowl. But we don't need his ashes in Cincinnati. What is that gonna do, people? They're ashes. It's not the spirit. What the man? Then maybe you had one of those little Ghostbusters ghost traps, and you could trap the spirit in there, and you can bring the spirit of Sam White, and he can come out during the halftime show and say, "You live in Cincinnati. This ain't Cleveland." Say something like that. But I just thought it was creepy when I read that. It's like, you bringing his ashes? What? Why? Chris writes, Sam did take him to a Super Bowl. Okay. Tanya writes, seriously, that's stupid. Who brings ashes to the Super Bowl? They are reaching too far. I thought the same thing, but you can't tell people nothing these days. That's her daddy. That's her daddy's ashes. I'm looking at the article right now. Sam White's daughter will bring ashes of former Bengal coach to Cincinnati to the Super Bowl. Why? The local media plays into this. This article was written by Scott Wartman. Sam White's presence in Cincinnati will be felt on Super Bowl Sunday 2 years after his death. We're not going to feel his presence? His daughter, Carrie Weish, is going to travel to Cincinnati from her home in North Dakota. She's bringing her father's ashes and a Sam Weish bobblehead from her home. Like I said, that's her daddy. So I could never criticize what a daughter is doing for her father if that's what she want to do, but this is macabre. I don't understand this. What is this supposed to do? Is this going to be like a publicity moment, and then like the local media will show up at wherever she's going to be at, and then we can look at the urn in which his ashes are in? I'm just something different. Like, I don't know. Everybody's different, I guess. She says that when the game is on, she turns the urn so he can face the TV like he's watching the game. That's some grief right there. Like I give Carrie Weish all the latitude in the world. I mean, you lost your father a couple years ago, and this is what you need to do to feel close to him. I've got nothing negative to say about that. I'm just talking about how local media is embracing this. This is crazy talk. I mean, everybody's different, but my mother passed away last year. She was cremated. I don't even know where her ashes are. I have no idea. I think my sister has them. It makes no difference to me. I told sis, do whatever you want to do. It makes no difference. The spirit is already left. What I look like looking at some ashes. I don't want that here. What's I supposed to do with that? I'd much prefer a picture or something like that, but the ashes themselves, I don't need that. But I'm different. Again, I'm not trying to say anything about Carrie Weish. She lost her father, and that's a tragic thing, but oof. I had to do that every game. That's why I got to bring him down to Cincinnati, because I can't leave him up here. If something happens, I'll feel I'm responsible. Kerry Weish, you're not responsible for a damn thing at all. But I know that sports fans feel that way. It's like, I got to wear the same shirt. Damn, I forgot to wear my favorite t-shirt, my game day jersey. That's why they lost. That's not why they lost. You crazy superstitions don't mean shit. The Bengals are going to win or lose based upon what they do on the field on Sunday. Nothing else. Nothing else. I got to wear the same underwear and eat the exact same thing and follow the exact same routine that I did when they won the AFC Championship game, because if I don't and they lose, I'm going to feel responsible. You ain't responsible. Calm down. God, we have never been more narcissistic as a people as we are right now. Every one of us swear that the universe is circling on the axis called our shoulders. It's not. It is not. That's actually a very emotional story about Sam White's daughter. You could tell she's still grieving. And again, anything she got to do to get through that process and remember her father, in no way am I ridiculing it. It's just the whole bringing it to Cincinnati or something that's kind of like, can you not? Can you not, please? Dale writes, Cass is a hater. She is a hater. Cruther writes, I hope they lose to the Steelers. You mean next year? Edward has the right attitude. He writes, if you don't expect things, you won't be disappointed. So I'm going to just watch with zero expectations. And that's my heart. I have been having hella fun through this Bengals win. Every single game I watched with the family, the wifey, son, and daughter, we had a gang of fun every single time. But I don't get too high and I don't get too low. When they won the AFC Championship, sure, I definitely let out some emotion and it was fun. But Edward has the right attitude. That's the way you go into the game. No expectations, just enjoy an experience. Win or lose. And if they win, gravy, gravy, gravy. If they lose, you don't get too low. You know what I'm saying? Gladys writes, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, a little too much. Yeah. Kamiki writes, who they? Nothing is ever too far. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate it. What is this? Love face, XYZ, man, the best girls in the world. I'm going to go ahead and have to block you. Because I don't want to keep saying this shit all morning. Sorry about that, love face. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Okay, so you're gone. Come on, Nate. Let that family be great. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm not, again, I want to make sure, because I want to be delicate here, because I've lost people. I lost my mother last year. Y'all know that. That shit is very emotional. So if that's what she's dealing with, the grieving process for Kerry Weish, I give her the widest latitude as possible for her to go through that process. But when I saw it was in the local media, I was like, this is strange. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppers. Now, since we're talking about the NFL, let me switch here, because the biggest story in the NFL, other than the Bengals and the Rams, has been Brian Flores, former head coach, happens to be a brother. He's a black man. Lost his job with the Miami Dolphins. It looks like it was on some whole, a black man has a shorter leash type of thing. And then he launched a lawsuit against the NFL, alleging, among other things, discrimination in their hiring practices. So that's been the biggest conversation right now. Hugh Jackson, who used to be a coach here with the Bengals under Marvin Lewis, he's spoken out about some of the things, experiences, and said he 100% supports Brian Flores. I really like some of the commentary that I've been hearing. I don't always like Stephen A's commentary, but I think Stephen A has been 100% on point. He made some comments that sound like he listened to the Nathan Ivey Show, or just great minds think alike. Just watched it yesterday. And he said basically that all of this comes down to diversity and ownership. Where'd you heard that before? It's all about ownership, 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 and ownership. Don't give me a Negro halftime show. Right? Give me Negroes that own a team. That's what we need. I know Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar and Snoop, right? And then the white black rapper Eminem are going to be performing, and Mary J is going to be doing her stiff dance routines as she sings her classics, right? Her hits. F all that. We need a majority minority-owned team. We need conscious black people sitting in the owner's box and going to the meetings, in the off season and having an influence. That's what we need, right? We've been talking about this. That's the next step for the NFL. It ain't about giving money for social programs and black-led organizations, but we'll take that too. We'll take the money. It ain't about next year, we're going to have Nas and Diddy. It ain't about the Negro halftime show. It's about Negroes in the ownership box. Okay? That's what it's all about, in my opinion. And there are black billionaires and there are black people that could form a group that could purchase a team. Okay? And one black billionaire has stepped out there and said that he wants to put in a bid for the NFL's Denver Broncos. Quote, after serious consideration, I strongly believe I can help effectuate positive changes throughout the league. And who do you think that billionaire is? We're talking about, matter of fact, let me I'll put his image up there and you tell me if you know who this man is. Let's do it that way. You might know who it is. You might not know who it is. I don't know. But let me put this up here and then you tell me if you know who this man is. Give me 1 second here. I'm looking for, here it is. But you check this out. This man right here says he wants to own an NFL franchise. I'm with it. I'm with the business on it. I think it'll be, why not? Why not? Somebody's got to own a team. Why not? Okay, not there. Here it is. I got you. Hold on. It's coming. Hope your day is going well so far. We get out here in this cold ass weather. Although today's going to be pretty good. This man right here. How many people know who this man is? Now, if you're on Spreaker, shout out to my Spreaker people and my folks on TuneIn. Of course, you can't see it. I'll tell you in just a second. But who is this man? Who is this black man? Does anybody know? Test your knowledge. Correctamundo Roy Byron Allen. Correctamundo Edward Byron Allen. Correctamundo Roots Tafari Byron Allen. That's right. Byron Allen, media mogul. And what a tremendous story. I mean, this dude started doing late night television and now you could never go that route these days because that door has been closed. You would have to take another route to media moguldom than the route that Byron Allen chose. But it's an amazing story. But the media tycoon Byron Allen is making a bid to buy the Denver Broncos from the Bolin Family Trust. Reported by Bloomberg News just yesterday. If the sale goes through, Byron Allen would become the first black majority owner of an NFL team. And so for me, the pressure that Brian Flores is putting on the NFL is bigger than just a coach. It's about diversity and ownership. And I'm hoping that because ESPN has been on fire. I give them props. If you watch ESPN through all of this, they have consistently been on the right side of this. And a lot of the former players and a lot of their hosts are saying the same thing. It's about diversity of ownership. Maybe the conversation and the pressure they're getting from the media in combination with the widespread visibility that the Brian Flores lawsuit is putting on the NFL, maybe it will lead to, the ownership saying, you know what, we got to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Why not? So Byron Allen, again, media mogul. He owns a lot of different cable networks. He owns the Griot. He owns a whole bunch of stuff. I can't even go through the list. It's not in front of me. He says that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell came to him back in 2019 and asked him to take a look at buying an NFL team. So it looks like there's already history there. Looks like it's already history there. So he's putting a bid for that team. So we'll see what happens with that. That'll be dope. Why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? That's what people have been saying about the Bengals. Why not us? Why not him? Why not him? And see, Byron Allen, he's got a history of going after big names. Remember, he went after Comcast because he said Comcast was discriminating against him and his content because it was a black-owned media company. And currently, he's got a discrimination lawsuit against McDonald's, accusing McDonald's of racial discrimination and refusing contracts and exhibiting a pattern of racial stereotyping. I'm with the business. Why not? So there it is. We could see that within our lifetime. Now, will that make a major change in the NFL overnight? It depends. It could. I don't know. It depends on how much of a change agent, if it happens, that Byron Allen decides that he really wants to be. So we'll see. The real people ninja, right? He took that little show, man. I remember he used to do that show. I used to watch it because I'm a night owl. Naturally, I've sort of changed over the years during a morning show, but I'm a night owl naturally. So I'd be up 1, 2, 3, watching Byron Allen do celebrity interviews. He was way before his time, way before the internet and Vlad TV and the Breakfast Club. He understood that just interviewing celebrities was a lane. Now everybody's doing it. All these channels doing it. Everybody's doing it. Used to watch Byron Allen years ago, owner of the Weather Channel, right? Right. Then he brought the Weather Channel. Right. He owns the Griot too. Right. I think I said that. Absolutely. He owns a lot of stuff. I love it. TNT writes, the spark that leads to change, control the narrative. It's all about controlling the narrative. It's all about the controlling the narrative. Victor Sweets writes, and the first thing he should do is give Elways a big ass boot out the door, and he might do that. And see, when you got Colin Kaepernick was blackballed, clear as day. All the NFL owners and GMs got together and conspired and said, you know what? This guy's bad for business. If you have at least one NFL franchise that operates differently, it's about the merits of what you bring on the field. You can't blackball Colin Kaepernick. Like, just imagine that back when all this stuff was happening with Colin Kaepernick, he got released from the 49ers. He was struggling to get another shot. It was clear as being blackballed. Just imagine if you had a minority-owned team, a black-owned team, and say, you know what, we'll give you a shot. And they gave him a job. Story's over with. Tanya writes, Byron is no joke. He owns everything. Deshaun writes, what happened to Jay-Z's affliction or affiliation with the NFL? Haven't heard anything about it lately. Yeah, he's a part of the reason why they got a black director of the Super Bowl halftime show, and he's on some levels a part of bringing like the Negro halftime show. You have Dr. Dre and Snoop and Mary J and Non-Dance and Mary J and the black-white rapper Eminem. Cam writes, Byron Allen is an Oreo. He is married to a white woman. Absolutely. No doubt about that. Does that make him an Oreo? By some people's definition, it would. Does that mean that he can't be a conscious black man? I mean, by some people's definitions, they would say that, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. Byron Allen is only 60 years old. Not bad. Absolutely. I have a meeting with one of Byron's proteges in the media. We have a Zoom meeting at the end of this month. That show was so lame. The late night comedy show. It was something. But hey, it worked for him. Look at where he's at now. I'm inside the Chop Shop on Spreaker. Ray writes Good Risings all. CG Dub, Chocolate Girl Wonder writes Good Morning Choppers. Sharp writes Good Morning Nana Choppers. CG Dub writes, yeah, they doing the most. Ashes, really? She writes, I'm with Cass. We got us another one. Really? Really, CG Dub? You gonna act like that? You're a Steeler fan, right? See, Steeler fans is all in their feelings right now. I love it. I hope the Bengals win. Because if the Bengals win a Super Bowl, that's one less thing that the Steelers had to talk about. Then they'll say, well, we got more than one. But then the Cincinnati fans can say, we got the most recent one. Got to balance the scales. I pulled this file. He is definitely an Oreo. Okay. I'm not sure. I guess. You say so. Way too much coverage, especially for YouTube is another free boost for generational wealth. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. The Minneapolis mayor said there was to be a halt to no-knock warrants, but lied. Is that right? These people out here doing the most. Girl, bye. It's a game. Sometimes it's thrown, sometimes it's not. Either way, the after narrative will be overblown. Shout out to the Mary MJB new album. She got a new album. I had no idea. Ray writes, Oreo. I have not heard that word in a minute. Me either. ESPN and Angela Rye. Oh, okay. The powers that be are diabolical. The people they put in front of us. Absolutely. YT equals white people. Is that right? Oh, you are a Steeler fan, huh, CG Dub? I forgot. Now I remembered. Cass writes, win first, then we can discuss what we're going to say. There you go. Chris writes, what makes him an Oreo? I already know what he's going to say. He's going to say it's because he's married to a white woman. That's what he's going to say. But he's still a black man. DeAndre writes, did you see what? Are you talking about India Irie? And she put out that video, the compilation of videos of Joe Rogan, who, by the way, at this point, there's just so much evidence that Joe Rogan, it's funny because a black man, Evans, he used to be a UFC fighter. He came out and supported Joe Rogan. He said Joe Rogan's not a racist. Well, he may not be a racist, but he's definitely racially insensitive. And that's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he is or not. I'm just saying. Oh, no. All I know is that by his own admission, some of the jokes he told on his show, to me, it sounds racist to me. You know what I'm saying? If you're telling racially disparaging jokes, that's some racist shit, period. What you want me to do with that? That's some racist ish. It is what it is. I'm a Steelers fan, but happy for the Bengals. Thank you, Gail. Gail's got a heart. Gail's got a heart. Thank you, Gail. Damn haters out here. DeAndre writes, India Irie said he is not a racist? Really? Huh. Send me a link on that. Let me look at that real quick. Is that what you said? Because 4 days ago, she put out a series of clips of Joe Rogan using the N-word over and over and over again. I'm like, come on, dude. And then we watched a video of Joe Rogan apologizing when he just made things all the more worse. Brian writes, there's no context in which a white person can use the N-word. Bottom line, I'm with you on that. It's just one of those things. If it walks like a racist, talks like a racist, it's probably a punk-ass racist. Correctamundo, TNT. I'm with you. Roy writes, he is, what are you talking about? You walk into a room full of black people and you feel like you walk into a room on monkeys, you're racist. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's it. I mean, should Joe Rogan be canceled? Absolutely. 100%. I think Tariq Nasheed on YouTube, he asked the question, should Joe Rogan get a pass? Nobody gets a pass for nothing like that. I don't care who you are. You don't get a pass. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how big and powerful your podcast is. I don't care what you did in the past. I'm done with you. Simple as that. But I stopped watching Joe Rogan years ago, just naturally. I can't lie to you and tell you I never watched it because I'm a podcaster myself. So I gotta watch other people that's leading the industry to see what they're doing. And I found it to be interesting. It was kind of like Vlad TV for white people. But I got off the bandwagon. It was before COVID. I just naturally just stopped watching. I can't remember why. It was nothing that turned me off per se. I saw what I need to see and then I was over with. So no, I didn't see India Irie put that out. The Hill. Oh, The Hill. Okay, let me go to The Hill then. Okay, hold on. I want to see this. She said she doesn't think he's a racist. Let me go check this out. I can't click on the link from where I'm at right now, but let me see what I can find here. Yeah, let me look at this again. TheHill.com blogs and the no India Irie. I don't think Joe Rogan is a racist. Okay. The no. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking for it, should I say, right now. Here it is. India Irie. I don't think Joe Rogan is a racist. I don't think Joe Rogan is racist for using the N-word. I think he's insensitive for using it. So just don't. I have to say, I did think he did a fine job with his apology. He said a lot of things I would want to hear someone say. The thing that stuck out for me the most is when he said it's not my word to use, and I think change behavior is what we're really looking for. Really? So India Irie says she doesn't think, and she's entitled to her opinion. When was this posted? Yesterday. Thanks for the vine on that, DeAndre. I appreciate it. Well, she can think whatever she wants to think. If India Irie now believes that Joe Rogan is not, in fact, a racist, that he's just insensitive, how do you draw that line? Is there a difference between being insensitive to a certain race and being racist? Like, was Whoopi just insensitive in what she said? Nah, I think sis is doing what a lot of these entertainers do. I think she's getting soft now. Because when I watched Joe Rogan's apology, I don't accept the apology. I reject it. And then the dude told this whole story about how he and his friends got wasted. They got super high and decided that they wanted to go see Planet of the Apes in a black neighborhood. That in and of itself is some racist shit, period. Then he said he went to the movie theater in the black neighborhood, and while they're there, they're looking around like, oh, this looks like Planet of the Apes. Huh? Black folks don't look nothing like Planet of the Apes at all. That's a racist trope that black people and monkeys and apes and gorillas are somehow from the same family tree. That's a racist idea. So no, I think sis is getting a little soft. When I heard the apology, it made it worse. Joe Rogan's apology it made it worse. It didn't get better. It got worse. I'm like, you said you did what now? So yeah, we got really high. And what I tell you about people that drink and smoke and get high, when somebody drunk or they high and they start talking that talk, that's how they really feel. I'll say it again. I don't give a man a pass because he been drinking and get to flapping them gums. That's how you really feel. It's 2 times when adults are honest, when they get really mad and they start talking that talk, slick and greasy like, they mean it. And so now they so mad they don't care about the filter and the inhibitions. That's what they really think. That's number one. And when they high, don't give a man a pass because he say he been drinking. I can't give a man a pass for that. I just had an incident. I won't get into the details here. Dealing with a brother here. I was out and about. He got a little too friendly. When I called him on it, he told me, yeah, I was drinking. I was like, huh? He was drinking, huh? In my head, I was thinking, oh, that's how you really feel. I mean, I'm grown. I've been around the block many, many times. You can't just say anything to me. And I'm just looking at him as he apologized. I'm like, okay. Now I know where we stand with one another. So Joe Rogan got super high, meaning he was smoking and or drinking or both, and thought it was funny to go see Planet of the Apes in a black neighborhood. I've never thought shit about that. Number one, I'm not paying to go see Planet of the Apes because the movies aren't good enough. That last one was dope, though. I'll give you that. That last one was good. I think I seen it like on Fire Stick or something at home. That's the only way I'm paying for it. But what the hell? Joe Rogan clearly has some issues inside of him when it comes to race. And then he tries to dress it up with this innocent, well, Kanye West uses it in flashing lights. I mean, all these rappers are using it. I mean, it gets confusing. It's not confusing. Ain't shit confusing about it at all. I'm just so confused. I mean, is it a term of endearment or is it racist? I don't know. I don't want to hear that from no grown person at all. You can't get no pass with me talking about that. No. But some people, I guess they can go for that. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Brian writes, Spotify paid that dude $100 million. Yes, they did. Oh, thank you for the share, FG. Appreciate it. Yes, they did. Tariq didn't say Joe Rogan gets a pass. It was clickbait. I didn't say that Tariq said that. What I said was the title of his show in which he talked about it was a question. Should Joe Rogan get a pass? You're not paying attention, bro. Pay attention. The King writes, yo, TNT, what's up with a pop-up shop on them Houday masks? Oh, man. Victoria writes, Joe Rogan is a racist. The zoo comments is the go-to insult from them, right? Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Black Voices, why Byron Allen's Comcast settlement win is a something for Black America. Okay. TNT writes, soft pedal Negro speak. The I forgive Negro despite your efforts to dehumanize our existence. Right. I'm a little shocked by India Irie. I'm a little shocked that I'm like, really? You heard that apology and you thought that the apology was, let me see if I can find it again because let me give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can find Joe Rogan's apology. I'll play it for you. I'm like, what? Nah, bruh. You just made things 100 times worse. I definitely ain't messing with you now. And again, I don't need Joe Rogan's podcast in my life. Glenn writes, Planet of the Apes in a black neighborhood, WTF, that's racist AF. Exactly, that's racist. That's the epitome of racism. He was still trying to excuse what he said, right? Joe didn't call anyone an N-word. He just took advantage by saying things such as Richard Pryor's movie Super Nigga. I don't know if he is racist, but he thought he was slick. He thought he was slick. I give you that. What the nail in the comment, the nail in the coffin for Joe Rogan being racist for me is not his N-word usage. It's the fact that he told this story about getting high AF. And then you want to go to a black neighborhood to watch Planet of the Apes. And then while you're there, you're looking around making jokes with your buddy about how it looks like Planet of the Apes in the neighborhood you're in. Now, if that ain't racist, I don't know what is. That's my problem with Joe Rogan. And then some people try to be funny. You ever been around somebody that tries to take shots, but they won't own it? Oh, I'm just joking. Oh, I'm just joking. I hate that shit. I prefer a mofo just tell me straight up how you feel. Don't play games like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Oh, I'm just playing. That's kind of like what Joe Rogan was doing. You wasn't joking, man. You know exactly what you're doing. Let me see here. Funny how the movie is all white people. Right, primarily. DeAndre writes, kids and alcoholics tell the truth. 2 times when a grown person is going to be his most honest. When they get 10, when they hit 10 and they red hot mad, what comes out of their mouth is going to be the truth. And when they high AF or drunk AF, that's when they're going to, especially when they drunk AF, that's when they're going to tell you the truth. Shannon writes, how is the location racist? How is what location racist? What location? How's what location racist? Are you talking about Joe Rogan? Yo, check it. So for me, Joe Rogan told this story about how he got super high with a couple of his buddies and they wanted to see Planet of the Apes. So they decided of all the places to see Planet of the Apes, they wanted to go to a black neighborhood. So they looked through the phone book and decided which was the black neighborhood. They went to go see Planet of the Apes in the black neighborhood. And then out of his mouth, he said that they started telling jokes about how, hey, look around. This looks like Planet of the Apes. So that's how location is racist, Shannon. If I'm answering the right question, she might be responding to somebody else. Brent writes, can you support black people and be married to a white person? Yes. Frederick Douglass, A. Philip Randolph, Lorraine Hansberry, to name a few. Oh, boy, we getting into this conversation. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You could be married to a non-black person and still support black people. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely 100%. However, me personally, my personal preference has always been a black female. You know what I'm saying? Back in college, I grew up with my grandmother and my mother. For me, I just couldn't see another way. Lots of beautiful people out there. But in terms of the wifey, like got the last name, I live with you every single day. We building, we come together, we having children. It's got to be a sister. That's just me. It's got to be a sister. And to me, who you decide to marry says a lot about you in a lot of different ways. And I'll leave it like that. But yeah, you certainly can support black people and be married to a white person. No doubt about that. The Melanie Two Beers Bates defense. Melanie Two Beers Bates. That's hilarious. The beer made me do it. The beer made me do it. Brent writes, can you hate black people and be married to a white person? Yes, Candace Owens and Clarence Thomas comes to mind. I don't know if Clarence hates black people. I don't know if Candace hates black people, but I think I understand your point. I don't know if it's safe to say they hate black people. I don't know about that. TC writes, good morning, Chop. Well, say good to see you, TC. I like that avatar. Let me see. TNT writes, yeah, I hung out with some white colleagues on St. Patrick's Day years ago. Oh, when they get drunk, them gums get to flapping all types of nonsensical, racist but they do know how to party. Oh, yeah. Depending on who you with, you get drunk with mixed company, you're gonna have to check some folks. You're gonna have to check some folks. Like, hold up, don't talk to me like that, or you're crossing the lines. I've been there, trust me. Did Joe Biden say crack pipes for drug addicts? Yes, I think he did, and I'm not against it. Not against it per se. There was a time when there was a big conversation in Cincinnati about clean needles. And I stand supported, and I supported 25 years ago the idea that it's in our own public best interest to hand out clean hypodermic needles for drug addicts. Now, do you want them to go shoot up? No. But when they go shoot up, you want them to use clean needles. That way, they're not spreading forms of hepatitis and or HIV. It's about public health. And I think there's something similar. Biden administration funds program to hand out crack pipes. They're saying it's a part of the reduction strategy. They're going to help distribute safe smoking kits for the consumption of various illicit drugs like crack cocaine and crystal meth. It also includes funding for syringe exchange programs, which I am 100% in favor of. I'm okay with my tax dollars going to pay for syringe exchange programs. Why? Public health. I don't want you to shoot up. I don't want you to continue to be drug addicted. But when you shoot up, I want you to have a clean needle. I don't want you sharing needles with other dope addicts on the streets in Skid Row. I don't want that. I think it's a very progressive idea. I got no problem with it. But people criticizing them, saying that it's the wrong direction. Now, I don't know what I don't know what the science is when it comes to the crack pipes. And maybe they're passing out crack pipes because then you can smoke it rather than inject yourself. Okay, I'm cool with that too. I'm cool with it. Anything that keeps the public safety in mind, in the forefront, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. And from the article that I'm reading, there also is some talk of having vending machines where you can get clean, like illicit drug, tools. I got no problem with that. I know for some people it's kind of like, what in the hell? You're making a situation worse, but I don't think you're really making a situation worse. Like when you're dealing with people that's drug addicted and they're going to be shooting up drugs and smoking drugs anyway, then I want you to do that in a way that's safe for the rest of us. So go shoot up your drugs with clean needles. If you don't have clean needles, here's a crack pipe. So rather than shooting up with a dirty needle, I'd rather you smoke crack. Wouldn't you? I'd rather you didn't do any of it, but people get lost. They get caught up with their drug addictions. If you're going to have a drug addiction, do it in a safe manner. That's all I'm saying. John writes, okay, Brian, how about when my kids asked me about the word when he was 9 years old because he had never heard it before? What word is that? You talking about the N-word? What are you talking about? John, what are you talking about? Shannon writes, oh, gotcha. Can a black person hate black people and be married to a black person? Yes. Alan West and Ben Carson come to mind. I don't know if Alan West and Ben Carson hate black people. I don't know if that's true. Alan West and Ben Carson have just figured out a way to be a somebody in the Republican Party. That's I don't know if they hate black people too, but I get what you're saying though. Blessed or messy, that was a disgusting story with Jay Racist. Not Joe Rogan, but Joe Racist. It was a disgusting story. It was. And it caught me off guard because I listened with you for the first time. I do that sometime. I want my reactions to be authentic. And when I heard that story, I'm like, oh, this guy definitely got a problem. He definitely got a problem with race. And, some people, Joe Rogan's 53, but some people act like children, even in their 40s and 50s and 60s, right? Depending on who they're around. They get around certain buddies and the college kid in them comes out. And maybe it was some of that. I don't know. Brian writes, India is on that kumbaya. That's why entertainers also tend to cringe at any colleague being canceled. After the theater story, if you still make excuses, you the Negro facing me in a flight with a racist, trying to stop me and get stabbed in your back. Rogan is the worst kind of racist. Rolls with black folks on some sets, then becomes a bro with that hat backwards, calling us monkeys with his white friends. Cam writes, what's up with the Biden administration approving funding for crack pipe discrimination to show equity? Again, the Biden administration can speak for themselves, but from what I'm reading, it's a part of a harm reduction strategy. And here's what I'm getting from it. The harm reduction efforts are multiple things. So one is testing for infectious diseases. The second is needle exchange and distribution programs. And also paraphernalia in terms of crack pipes. Now, if somebody is a crack addict, let me ask you this. If somebody is addicted to crack, would you prefer for them to shoot it or to smoke it? Well, if you're thinking about public health, you would prefer for them to smoke it, right? Because what we know is that some people get desperate. They only got one needle. They start sharing a needle with other people. Now, when you start sharing needles with other people, that opens the door for the transmission of infectious diseases like forms of hepatitis and HIV. So if that's the rationale of the Biden administration, it makes sense. They should be doing that. I got no problem with it because drug addicts are going to do drugs no matter what. You got some folks out there, they're going to get that crack. They're going to get that dog. No matter what they got to do, they're going to get the dog. Okay, so when you get the dog, street term for heroin, when they get to heroin, do your heroin in a way that doesn't jeopardize the rest of society's public health. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense to me. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Nate?
What up, Daryl?
Hey, what's going on? It's Daryl from Atlanta. Hey, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm out here now looking at these articles talking about they were passing out that the Biden administration supports that. Simone Sanders has a tweet thread on Twitter right now talking about that's not true. And it's a whole thing out there. The Shade Room put it out there as fact, and it wasn't fact. It came from right-wing bloggers like the Daily Mail, the Independent, the Daily Mail and Independent, all right-wing hack news, and that's not true. And the Shade Room had to they put that out there as fact, and then they retracted. So there's a retraction out there on their Twitter feed right now. That's a fake story, man. I don't even like using fake news, but that's misinformation to our people to get us all off target and basically, drum up stories and issues that will work counter to our own good and get us dissuaded from supporting the Biden administration. That's all that is, bro.
I can see that. I can see it. Thank you for that update on that. I can see that.
All right. Take care, Nate.
Yep, most def. A lot of stories are like that. A lot of stories. But again, I'm looking at it and let me see. Black Enterprise wrote a story. Biden administration to fund distribution of crack pipes and syringes to promote racial equity. Where else can we find? So Black Enterprise, they picked it up. Let me read this. This was 18 hours ago. And then the page was taken down. So I think, let me double check it here. So I think Brother Daryl might be on point with this one. I see Fox News here 18 hours ago. And they wouldn't take the story down. If it was propaganda, anything that's against Joe Biden or would turn people against Joe Biden, whether it's true or not, they're going to run it and run with it. So it looks like that might just be a fake ass story, but I answered as if it's a real story. Like, if that's what they were doing, I understand it. I remember arguing with people for the longest time about clean needle exchange programs here in Cincinnati. You going back to like the late 90s, early 2000s when this conversation was hot and heavy. And your boy was that voice in local media saying this makes sense. Needle exchange programs makes perfect sense. Number one, you don't want syringe needles laying everywhere in your neighborhood. Give people an opportunity to turn that stuff in. And number two, when you're gonna shoot up, I want you to shoot up with clean tools. I don't want you to catch hepatitis. Was it hepatitis B, A, C, Q, LGBTQ, something like that? I don't know. It's just a joke. Or HIV. I don't want you catching none of that. All right. I want you to do your drugs, get high, and then work yourself off your addiction one day and get back out there and get back to your family and them. That's what I want. Cam writes, y'all drunk off the Kool-Aid, shaking my head. What do you mean, Cam? And when you gonna give me a call, brother? It's been a minute since we heard your voice. Last time we heard your voice, you was cussing me out. You was telling me all about myself. And I'm glad you're back. I love seeing you here, Cam. And call me one day and then we can break bread, brother. Simple as that. Timothy writes, live in areas where they have outbreaks of hepatitis and TB. It makes a lot of sense. Are they gonna distribute free rolling papers also? I haven't read that. I'm not sure how that would be like connected with health. Like if in some way distributing free rolling papers would have a positive impact on our health, public health, I'm with it. I got no problem with it. Some people get squeamish about that kind of stuff. I do not. Blessed and Messy, what's up, fam? AKA, that's FBK? Oh, okay. What's up, FBK? Good to see you. I would prefer rehab. I want you to go to rehab, but when you get out of rehab, I don't want you to have no long-term medical consequences. You're undiagnosed with your HIV infection. You're going out there and you're spreading HIV to your partner, your family and them. Your partner has no idea. So I'm for all of that, bro. 100%. Cam writes, that's just dumb. What's dumb about it, Cam? Exactly. Specifically. Tanya writes, exactly. It comes down to the bigger picture, which is public health. Absolutely public health. It's all about that. Good morning to you. Check your sources, people. Brent, check your sources. Absolutely. Misinformation, so we don't vote dim in the midterms. Anyone who even considered that as a legit story is questionable. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I considered it a legit story because I had heard about it since yesterday, but let me just do some more checking on that. I'm not really sure. I do know Black Enterprise put it out there, then they took it down, which is interesting. And then Daryl just said that Simone Sanders, who I think she doesn't work for the administration anymore. She works for some other folks. So she seems to be credible. What? Babe Ruth? What in the hell? What in the hell? That's some of the craziest ish I've ever seen in my life. That's another conversation. I won't take you there. Kamika writes, Black Enterprise is death ran by operatives. I don't know if that's true or not. Now, if you're just tuning in this morning, a Black billionaire is putting in a bid for an NFL team. We're talking about Byron Allen. And he says that he was contacted by Roger Goodell back in 2019, but the timing wasn't right. So maybe the door might be open for us to see the first majority minority owned NFL team. I think that would be the best way to go. And there could be another opening because people are saying that if the team owner of the Dolphins did in fact try to pay the coach to lose, that's against the spirit of competition, the spirit of everything they're doing, and he might lose his franchise. If that happens, that might open the door for another minority owned team or majority owned team. I don't know. Funds go to other programs besides crack pipes. LOL. Opioid crisis, rehabilitations, VA rehab programs. Absolutely. Daryl writes, Simone Sanders works for Peacock/MSNBC. Right. Absolutely. Angela writes, good morning. Nate in the chopper. Say good to see you, Angela. Good morning to you. Misinformation. Yeah, I think I read that already. Absolutely misinformation. That's the whole point of the game. And Black folks fall for the misinformation. I'll be honest with you. That when Hillary was against Trump, it was people in the audience. I'm arguing with them like, that's something that she did 20 years ago. Does she deserve to be called to the carpet on that and held accountable? Absolutely. But did we deserve 4 years of Trump because Hillary Clinton said something 20 years ago? No, we did not deserve that. We did not deserve that. The country, COVID, Hillary Clinton would have responded to COVID like an adult. Donald Trump responded to COVID like a child. You do childish games, you get childish prizes. And the prize we got was the spread of COVID much further and faster and farther than it should have been if we had an executive at the White House who was taking it seriously. But we had some black folks that was convinced to sit down and not vote because 20 years ago, Hillary Clinton said something. And again, she deserves to be called out. She was called out. She was questioned in the media. She was confronted. But we didn't deserve Donald Trump. We didn't deserve that. But you get what you get. Byron Allen is working in silence. I like him. Roots Tafari, free rolling papers. Hilarious, right? Cam writes, hashtag smoke, clean, crack. Nat writes, can we start questioning the executive makeup of these entertainment companies also? I guarantee they are 90+% white, just like the NFL. I mean, we can. I think we can. I think there are times that we should, but I think that most of our energy should be on building our own media companies that tell our own stories and or supporting those media companies that are black owned and black led that support our stories in positive ways. I think that's where you're going to get more mileage rather than, let's say you go to Viacom and we want a full report of all of your executives. I mean, that could be eye-opening. It could lead to some change, but I think the bigger change is support the people that support you. That's it. Victoria writes, facts, Nathan. Not sure what I said. Carmelita writes, do you think Goodell asked Allen because he thinks he will be not like other black people? I can't speak on that. I have no idea. Rachel writes, some black people love gossip, unfortunately, to our own detriment. I mean, I'm in the media, and I'm honest with you about it. A little bit of gossip here and there, I'm for it. I'm with the business. Some drama, and it's not in my personal life or my business, I'm with the business. I'm with it, depending on what it is. Brent writes, did Kelly find a different children's organization to be a chaperone to L.A. for the Super Bowl? I'm not sure. Barbara writes, good morning. She's on Facebook. Hey, good to see you, Barbara. Good to see you. I do not accept free crack pipes as a form of reparations for black people. Oh boy, hook, line, and sinker. Akeem he took it. Ooh, gotta be quicker than that. He took the hook, line, and sinker. Whoever said that was gonna be a form of reparations for black people, man? Stop, Akeem. That's exactly what the powers that be want you to think. We can't get no reparations, but they passing out free crack pipes, right? I can see it now. No, that's not your choices. Can't get no reparations, but we can get some free crack. Free crack forever. You get a crack pipe, and you get a crack pipe, and you get a syringe needle, and you get a syringe. Did you get a syringe? You get a syringe too. I don't think that's the choice at all. I really don't. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134. All I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. If not, a tisk with the flick of the wrist, and we will move on. Good morning to you. Oh, boo. Oh, please stop. Stop it. It's being reported that, this is some local news here, we got to talk about this. Police Chief Elliot Isaac is set to retire on March 1st. Negro, we only got a month. Well, hold on. We only got a month. We got less than a month. He's out of here, man. 1, 2, matter of fact, you got less than 3 weeks. You got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You got 20 days. Police Chief Elliot Isaac is up out of here in 20 days. 20 days. And that serves as an opportunity for the mayor and the new council. Could we see a black female put her name in the hat? You know, Captain Danita Pettis, we talked to her a couple weeks back. I asked her, it was a question from the audience, you know, has she considered it? And you could tell that she had considered it. Are we going to see the first black female? We've had nothing but men as the Cincinnati police chief. Is it time for a woman? Is it time for a black woman? I don't know. Is your preference somebody from within or from without? I'd have to see who the candidates are. And I could be wrong on this, but my gut is telling me somebody from within. Right? Somebody who is aware of how things run and what we have going on here in the city of Cincinnati. But I'm going to reach out to the chief and try to get him on and talk about, you know, his tenure as the chief and what he'll be doing next. Haven't spoke with the chief in a while, but whenever I see him, he's always friendly. I know he used to listen to the show. I'm not sure if he does anymore. I'm sure he's a very busy man. Quote, serving the people of Cincinnati alongside such a dedicated team of officers has been the privilege of a lifetime. I'm grateful beyond words for the opportunity I have had. And he survived the Cranley administration. So give him props for that. Because Cranley was getting rid of black folks left and right. Left and right. And I don't know. I mean, people will have those conversations about, remember, Chief Elliot Isaac replaced Chief Jeffrey Blackwell, who was fired by Harry Black and the mayor. Remember this? It was a whole big thing. It was a big thing. It was not a good time in Cincinnati's history. It was not a good time. And so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens now. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think the inside track just has the inside track. Like if you're from Cincinnati and you already understand the uniqueness of what we got going on here, and you're very well versed with the collaborative and the expectations of the community and the plans that are in place, as opposed to getting somebody who's outside of all of that, which again, I can see the upside of that as well, because you get somebody that doesn't have that mentality, that local mentality. They can look at things objectively. They don't have any allegiances to anyone, which could be valuable, could also be bad, but they have no allegiances to anyone, right? The bad thing about that is that anybody that comes from outside has to learn the city. They literally have to learn everything on top of learning the job. Same thing with the CPS superintendent. You know, it's like, do you just take Tiana Amat, who's already been here, right? Next woman up, or do you get somebody who's going to have to learn everything on top of doing the job itself? So it just seems like people who are on the inside always have that inside track because they're there. But in 20 days, no more Police Chief Elliot Isaac. And I like Police Chief Elliot Isaac. I don't have a negative opinion about him at all. I have a positive opinion about him, so we shall see. Sister Irish writes, Captain Pettis has been on the force for 23 years. When I asked that question, her eyes lit up a little bit, like, I ain't gonna lie, Nate. Like, the ambitious part of me thought about it. That's paraphrasing loosely. That's essentially what she said. I'm with the business. I'm with it. Why not? That could be. I'm telling you, think about how all these things are happening. Like I'm telling you, man, listen, Mayor Avtab, no excuses. Absolutely no excuses. You know what I'm saying? If you Avtab Puraval, you are in what they call the catbird seat. No excuses. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance you got a super majority on council that's very friendly with you and open to working with you, right? Got a whole new thing going on. Now you're going to have a new chief. Of course, he could have always fired the chief and put somebody else in if that's what he really wanted to do. But you got a whole new slate with no controversy, right? So there's no controversy with you pushing Chief Elliot Isaac out. You get a chance to put your person in there. That's an amazing opportunity. We shall see. What do you think? Susan writes, why not Captain Pettis? I don't know. Barbara writes, someone from within is probably ideal for now. I agree, and I kind of feel the same way about the superintendent of CPS. I kind of feel the same way. Like, it really depends on where you're at. Like, I think that the smart thing to do, and I asked Mayor Avtab, when he was on the show, I asked Mayor Avtab, remember he did this show, I have to say this again because I got to toot our own horn. He was the first interview he did after being elected. He came and spoke with us with the Choppers. I asked him, and he said, we're going to put out a national search, which I think is a smart thing to do, because even though you might be like, hey, I think I'm looking for an inside candidate, you never know who you're going to find. There could be some amazing candidates from other cities, other states. So that would be the smart thing to do. And you got a lot of smart people down there. So Barbara writes, Avtab's chief of staff is an African-American female. Yes, she is. I do know her. Kazalia. Yes. And I haven't heard about anything, but from what it seems like, she's doing a good job. She helped his campaign, and that's typically how it works. Help on the campaign, and then, hey, shit, we got this relationship. We've been successful. Stay on and make it happen. I love her. She's a young sister, too. I don't know how old she is. I want to say in her 30s. So that's a great look. I don't know her like that, but I just kind of in passing, being friendly, that kind of thing. Let me see. Roots Tafari writes, I'm not knocking a woman being chief, but I kind of doubt that happens, unfortunately. And I think they would be better with someone internal. I think they would have a better understanding of the city. So it looks like great minds think alike. Barbara writes, hey guys, Jeff FYI, I am council member Greg Landsman's chief of staff. Is that right? What's up, Barbara? Okay, down there working with Greg. Tell him I say hello. I like Greg Landsman. Got to get him on the show. I know he's running, got a bunch of things going on. I'd love to get him on the show. I'll reach out. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I'm telling you, it's a lot of good people working down there. A lot of good people that's working down there. A lot of sisters, very smart, intelligent sisters that's working down as chief of staffs and members of staff with the new council. Like I said, I'm still very hopeful. I haven't heard anything, despite what Jason Williams has put on his column. I've heard nothing that would shake my optimism about the possibilities of what the new council and mayor can do. Barbara writes, Kazalia is smart and great. Yes, she is. She is. A very sharp sister. I forgot. Avtab's staff is all female, so it may happen. I retract that part of my previous comment. His whole staff is? Okay. Okay. I have no problem with that. I mean, how many times we had an all-male staff? I have no problem with it. Like, again, I know a few people that work down there, all smart, intelligent people. Super sharp, razor sharp. So we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Greg's been on the show many times. It's an open door. Always friendly. And I think at the end of the day, Greg is on some positive-ish for the city. Female sheriff and possibly black female CPD's chief would be progressive and right on time. Yeah, we don't talk. I got to reach out to the sheriff. It's been a minute. And I ran into her last at the NAACP event. Your boy, Inspiring Innovator. Shout out to my friends at NAACP. That was a great night. And she said she definitely was willing to come back on the show. So I just haven't got a chance to circle back. Whoo, boy, I'm telling you, we dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet, man. That other dude was this Bruce Hoffmeyer. Oh my God, he would have took us back to the bad days in Cincinnati. Wrong mentality. Wrong mentality for what's going on right now. That would have been a wrong job for him. No, his legislative person is a male. Okay. John Harmon. Okay. I don't know John Harmon. I've heard the name before. But again, they seem to be off to a great start down there in city council, so in city hall. So a lot of people are going to sprinkle them with a lot of criticism. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give them some time to figure out how to be council persons and figure out how to do the job. And then we'll take a real sharp look at what they're doing. But for now, they're all babies down there. They're all neophytes. Most of them. Many of them have never even been elected before. First time elected officials. So let's give them some space. They might even make some mistakes and ask a bunch of questions, which is nothing wrong with that. And then maybe next year we can pick back up and get super critical unless something happens, right? But right now, shit, let them people breathe. That's how I look at it. Let them breathe. AFTAB will run for president in 2028. I can see it. I can see it. Or senator or something like that. I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it. No doubt about it. Some people just have it. You know what I'm saying? AFTAB just has it. Wherever that is. You know, sometimes you can just look at people and you hear them speaking. You're like, damn, I can see this person going really far. You can just see it. It is what it is. Good morning to you. Grown woman. Hold on, what is it? Grown woman mentality on sex. I haven't talked about this, but do you know who AJ Johnson is? AJ Johnson is an actress. And she was in a lot of different movies. She was in House Party, and she was also in Baby Boy. She played the mother in Baby Boy. Let me see if I can find an image of her, and I'll put it up there for you. Matter of fact, I'll use this image. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I really don't, but I just want to say something real quick. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. I'm not sure if this is going to spark some long conversation. Maybe it will, maybe it not. But AJ Johnson, she definitely paid some attention last week when she went on Angela Yee's podcast. I think it's called Lip Service. And I've watched it before. It's interesting. And it's like women. This is AJ Johnson. It's, you know, women sitting around talking about different issues. And sometimes they talk about sex. Yeah, it's called Lip Service. Is that what it's called? Yeah. I think it's called Lip Service. I think I see that on the microphone there. But anyway, they were having the conversations about threesomes and stuff like that, and how a man loves a threesome with two women, but a man would never be open to a threesome with two men and things like that. And then AJ Johnson made a startling confession. I think she's like 58 now. But she confessed that when she was 50, her 50th birthday present was a threesome with two men. And in the video, she just talked about how it was a beautiful thing and how she was the center of attention and she got pleased and all this kind of stuff. And when I saw the video, I thought, wow, that's a grown woman's mentality. That's a grown woman's mentality. Now, whether you into threesomes or not is not really the issue. Number one, I just thought it was refreshing that she was willing to be open and tell her truth. Because a lot of people would not tell their truth in a situation like that. They just sit there and be quiet. And I thought that was refreshing that she was willing to be honest, even as a Black woman. Because people will try to shame you. And just the way that she talked about the experience, she said it was beautiful and it was like a beautiful dance. And I just thought that it was a very mature way of looking at that kind of situation out there. Now, I'm not going to ask you in the audience whether you've ever had a threesome before. Okay, I'm not going to ask you that because that's your business. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to tell you my business because you don't need to know all of that. I'm just saying that Brent is so crazy. That's Jeff Pastor's mentality. You are funny for that, man. You are too funny. But I just thought it was a refreshing attitude. You know, because a lot of women are made to feel ashamed about sex, and sex is the man getting over on you, when really it's a partnership. You know, two people are getting something out of it, not just one person. I just thought it was interesting. I just thought it was an interesting and a very mature perspective. Now, I'm not trying to push threesomes on you. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't do what you don't want to do. That's up to you. But I thought it was a very mature and refreshing perspective that I think shocked a lot of people. Like, wait a minute, she said what, huh? Yeah, she said it. She said it. TNT writes, Did she turn it into a sex tape to mysteriously leak in the coming months? Like Nelly? I haven't watched the video, but I've heard of it. I probably won't watch the video. Not really my thing. Apparently, Nelly didn't impress some people with his video. I haven't seen it. I've just heard about it. Cass writes, she's 50, halfway to 100. Good for her. And that's what I thought. I was like, you know what? That's a woman that's comfortable in herself and her sexuality, right? Because a lot of people would be all caught up with their feelings and afraid to say who they really are. A lot of women get shamed when it comes to saying that they enjoy sex, unless it's like on some holy matrimony type stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Is that real? Is that real? So I give her props for being honest and refreshing. Betting public sports show rights, the declining values of Cincinnati, the proliferation of whore culture, bad take talk show host. And see, I'm glad you made that point because she's not a whore. That don't make her a whore. That's how see some people they think like cavemen. Now, if a man comes out and says, yeah, 2 women, yeah, I've had it many, many times. Oh, he's a boss. He's a player. But when a woman admits that she had a threesome, and maybe that's outside of the norm for what a lot of people admit to, she's a whore. That don't make her a whore. That just makes her human. That makes her a woman. She went to experience something a little bit different with 2 dudes. Great. What man out there what heterosexual man would ever turn down 2 beautiful women at the same time? I'll wait. If you lined up 100 men and you presented 2 beautiful women to these men, these hypothetical men, this hypothetical situation, and said, look, they're yours if you want it, I would say that about 95 of them are all aboard. They all aboard. The vast majority of men would take that. So why would it be any different for a woman? So no, I don't think it's necessarily declining values because threesomes, menage a trois, or whatever has always been around. That ain't nothing new. They've been doing this shit from the beginning of time. And whore culture, I just thought, again, as I said before, there was a grown woman's mentality when it comes to sex. I think it's immature to look at this sister and call her a whore. I think it's very immature, in my opinion, but that's just me. That's just me. What do you think? Is fame right? Which would be a shocker. Anthony writes, I just say all your business ain't everybody's business. That's very, very true. And that's why I thought it was refreshing that she put it out there. Because in the video, Angela Lee, and somebody said they always talk about sex, which is a good thing to talk about. You got a lot of beautiful women sitting around talking about sex, that'll work for you. But I just thought that she was so forthcoming. She was so honest with it that it's kind of like, okay, sis, I ain't mad at you. Brandy writes, exactly. Glenn writes, the same dudes that broke up the fake alt new edition is judging. What did I miss? Oh, it's worse than that, man. It's worse than that. At least that's what I was told. Them dudes, man. Oh my God, it's just sad. So that's AJ Johnson. I give her props for being honest, man, because a lot of women are ashamed to admit to liking sex or being sexual or liking certain things. And what I say is live your life. Do you, man. Don't let these people out here shame you from your pleasure. That's what you into. That's what you ain't hurting nobody. That's what you into. You do you. Simple as that. That's just me. I was kind of shocked that AJ said that too. Yeah, it was. She put that out there. But again, the way she described it, I'm like, oh, this sister got a different mentality. Right? Like some people think sex is something that the man is getting over on the woman. Like he getting over on her. Like I think it's a very immature way of looking at sex, in my opinion. But some people have that mentality. Right? They got over on her. No, they didn't get over on her. They both got something out of it, whatever that was. Cruther writes gold star for AJ. Oh, man, listen, I'm going to leave you with that. Have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. Happy hump day. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. Remember our motto, family. Winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nate Ivey. Until next time, I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving, don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw all my pain on percussion. The disgusting, I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now.